What long-term ecological effects does China's ban on international waste and plastic imports have? The National Sword Policy is a ban placed by China that puts strict contamination limits on recyclable material, which includes any mixed trash. This restricts a majority of plastics that many countries exported to China to be processed. China placed their national sword policy in January of 2018. The policy has led to major changes in international recycling system and abilities that threaten environments internationally due to lack of other resources to correctly process the excess waste and plastics. It is important to recognize exactly how much waste is now being denied by China, to realize what waste now is not being properly recycled, processed, and ending up in landfills. Before the ban, 70% of all U.S. waste and plastic was exported to China, and 95% of European Union's waste was exported there as well. It is predicted that within the next decade, 111 million tons of plastic will need to find a new method for processing. This is a ban that affects countries around the world and their ability to export plastics so that they can be properly processed. Many new courses of action are being taken to try to deal with the overflowing landfills since the ban. In the U.S., states are searching for their own solutions and have begun processing some of their own waste, incinerating it, or exporting it to other small countries that have more resources to do so. On an international scale, other countries are being used to export waste to. Small Southeast Asian countries are most popular to export waste to, such as Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Although other countries have resources to process waste similar to China, they do not have the ability to accept the mass amount that China did. This has resulted in these countries restricting waste imports as well. Because of these small countries' limits, most waste ends up in landfills still or illegally dumped into the ocean. Within the U.S., processing has become too expensive to upkeep, and plastics are more strictly regulated, oftentimes still turning to incineration to keep up with the waste production. All of this has led to increased amounts going to landfills, marine life to be harmed, plastic islands growing, and recycling not even being recycled properly. Ideally, countries would be able to process on their own, managing themselves or utilizing and repurposing plastics. But currently, this is not the case. There have been many people searching to find a solution. Amanda May, in an interview with Kate O'Neill, author of Waste, records Kate O'Neill saying, "The overall goal of the American recycling industry right now is to develop technologies and capacities to get plastic scrap down to China's strict contamination standards. This solution relies less on the citizens' actions and put effort into making resources that can continue to keep up with the population's high waste production by conforming to the restrictions of China's ban. This would mean altering and regulating the types of plastics produced altogether." Cheryl Katz, author of Piling Up, How China's Ban on Importing Waste Has Stalled Global Recycling, says that above all, experts say it should be a wake-up call to the world on the need to sharply cut down on single-use plastics. This solution proposes fixing the problem at the source. It should also be noted that in the past 2 years, the wake-up call has not created change in waste production. A change like that would require a large-scale campaign and effort to spread awareness and educate everybody. Currently, efforts to pursue solutions are not in process, and if steps towards these solutions aren't taken, current problems such as marine dumping, lack of recycling, and growing landfills will continue further destroying the environment globally. Thank you for listening.